I interviewed my high school basketball coach, Matthew Harder. He played a significant role during my time at Page High School, on the court as a coach, but also off the court as a mentor. For my first two questions, I asked him what college he attended and the degrees he obtained while there. He attended Appalachian State University and obtained degrees in history and secondary education. For my next question, I asked him if his college degrees assisted him in obtaining his head coaching position. He said yes, most school systems prefer, if not require, coaches to also serve as teachers. For my next question, I asked him, what did you gain from a personality perspective from your college experience that has helped you perform your job as a head coach? He learned the values of communication, trusting others, and completing a task through various assignments and group projects. When he was in college, I asked him if he wanted to become a coach one day. He said yes. I asked why. And he said he started off as a volunteer assistant for JV and varsity coaches at an inner city school in Greensboro. He wanted to become as involved as possible in the Greensboro basketball scene, which eventually led to his head coaching position. I asked him if he had any classes in college that encouraged him to coach. He had a basketball class during his junior year at ASU, and it was an introductory class, but he was assigned a role as a coach where he had to instruct other players with drills and all kinds of other activities. The teacher was so impressed that she quoted him as she was quoted as to say, he reminded him of Bobby Knight, but much more likable. He said some of the extracurriculars he participated in were a variety of intramural sports. He was a part of an Upward Bound program, and he was a teaching fellow. So he did a lot of stuff for teaching, but also for basketball. After college, I asked him how he went about his job search. He applied to several school systems across the state of North Carolina, but there were very, very few social studies positions open, and it took him the entire summer to land a job. He didn't land his job until mid-August of 2010. His father was a longtime basketball coach in North Carolina, so he was very familiar with other coaches throughout the state. For question 12, I asked him if he started a different position before he became a head coach. He started off as a JV assistant, then became JV head coach, then moved to varsity assistant, and then moved to varsity head coach. I asked how the position shaped how he wanted to portray himself as a coach. He said it gave him the opportunity to learn from other successful coaches, and it gave him the opportunity to build confidence in himself through different trials and tribulations. His previous coach, Coach Abel, was a fantastic competitor and coach who played one of the biggest roles in Harder's life. I asked him if he had learned anything from his predecessor, Coach Abel, that he wanted to continue to do as a coach. He said he loved his intensity and his passion for the games. He coached every game like it was his last and tried to instill those same drives into his players. He also cared tremendously about the kids he coached both on and off the court. I actually had him as a coach for a while, and he did all those exact things. He was a great coach. Did you learn anything from your predecessor that you wanted to change as a coach? He said a few things. He wanted his offense to be more structured. How has his view of coaching changed since he first started? He said, his coaching is definitely a very selfless position. You are under constant scrutiny from what seems like everyone. It has its glorious moments, though, when you see the breakthroughs from your players and see how much they value success in the team. For my 17th question, I asked him how he'd been affected on a personal level from his coaching position. He said he realized the amount of personal responsibility and accountability that comes with the position. You have to fully invest yourself as it requires such a commitment throughout the year if you want to retain success year after year. I asked him if he ever saw himself coaching at a higher level, such as college or maybe another professional level. He said he really enjoyed coaching at Page High School. He was very fortunate to have the opportunity to coach at a school with such a storied tradition. However, if given the opportunity, he would love to coach at the collegiate level. I asked what advice he had for anyone who wants to take on a coaching position. He said that understanding the changing times and the nature of public versus private schools is key. Also, always expect the unexpected. You need to understand the time commitment required during both season and off-season. Realize that it will often seem like a thankless profession, but you do make an impact and you do make a difference, especially to the players. The last one I tried to make personal. I asked him what actions, doesn't have to be school specific, could I take to further my career in coaching. He replied and said that he wants me to become involved in the basketball scene in Raleigh. He wanted me to keep up with both public and private school hoop scenes. I would also reach out to coaches in the area to see if I could attend practices or film sessions. He thinks I have a fantastic understanding of the game and thinks I would be an excellent coach one day if I chose to do so. And he would love to help me in any way possible. All in all, it was a great interview with my coach. He played a significant role in my high school time as a junior and a senior. I started my junior and senior year under him, and he played the role as a mentor and did an excellent job. And I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to him again. So.